I want to go back to 1992, the Dream Team, that you were considered the leader, the MVP and the anchor of that team, but you didn't get all of the notoriety. Well, did you feel
who
some
said
type?
that?
Magic
He know Michael Jordan was the leader of that team.
Magic Johnson,
Come on now.
Chuck Daly said Barkley brought the most intensity and fire each and every day, each and every game. And even Magic said Charles Barkley was the MVP. So my question.
Charles Barkley was unstoppable.
Like this little fat guy, he can't play. He goes up, boom. I'm like, hey, he's pretty good.
And then that fool jumped. I mean, but when he jumped, it was like,
We got to get Charles to eat. He's anorexic.
Round of rebound days. But for a guy who was carrying a little extra weight, he'd get off his feet really fast.
Barkley! Oh my! Finish, gotta finish. Oh, what a rejection by Barkley!
What he did. The rebound, block shot score, and strong.
Was in the middle of 5 guys. Everybody knew who would always come up with that ball. It was Charles Barkley. And not only grab it, but explode up.
What comes to mind when you kind of see
Oh, snap. So this first joint is of Charles Barkley. This is in 96 when he actually pulled Stephen out to the side after they beat us, actually swept us. And we were just so eager to be in the playoffs and so happy to be in the playoffs. But he was like, hey, we needed this one. You guys got 1,000,000 years to be able to get you one. You know, y'all got to go through this part of it. Every great players, every great team has to go through some type of something to be able to get to something. And we were like, I don't want to hear this. But he was like grabbing us, like, come here. Like his arm is around us, you know what I'm saying? I was shocked that Chuck did that. He was doing things in the series that was just, you know, when he would turn his face, his elbows was high, you know, he was just putting the dominance in on some alpha, you know what I'm saying? Just putting a dominance in it. And I was shocked that he cared enough to pull us to the side and actually his advice, and I was shocked at that. But there was some brotherly love that I always remembered, and I always thanked him for that.
Charles Barkley was terrifying, not because he stood 7 feet tall, not because he could jump higher than everyone else. He terrified NBA legends because every possession felt like survival. Against Barkley, pride disappeared, bodies crashed, and even Hall of Famers quickly realized they were fighting something completely different.
Jordan, Olajuwon, and Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley was unstoppable at 6'4". He was still facing up off the glass. You one dribble, in the rim, 2-hand. Then he'll back you down for the whole 14 seconds. Right. So they started the, you know what I'm saying? Because it started, you know, people want to sleep on it. So they wanted to quicken the game up. But Charles Barkley.
interesting. Really a dear friend of mine still today. You know, Charles was the kind of player that, you know, he just exude confidence. You know, he knew he was a good player, and he demonstrated that every night.
Barkley was a dominant player, extremely dominant in the post area. He was one of the best and most talented players that's ever played the game of basketball. And
he was a joy to watch. I mean, we loved Barkley. I wasn't a big Sixers fan, but our man Barkley, he was. You watched him like you knew it was going to be elite, high-level, explosive basketball. And then he became this incredible personality and a television star, media darling. And to the point now where I think if you're not old enough, you don't really understand or appreciate just how good he was as a player. As entertaining, as successful, as famous as he is as a broadcaster, he was the same thing, the same level as a basketball player, one of the best ever. I don't even know if you appreciate from watching old footage. Like, you had to just lace him up, go bump with him, see it for yourself. Man, this guy right here.
I remember seeing Charles Barkley. Shout out Chuck, man. I remember seeing Charles Barkley saying, no, I'm shocked that Udonis Haslem hasn't been drafted. And for me, I think even in that moment, you know what I'm saying, that was a breath of fresh air. It lifted me up a little bit, because when you have somebody like Charles Barkley, a Hall of Famer, you know what I'm saying, one of the top players that ever played the game, to speak your name and even know who you are on that particular night, I think that went a long way for me. But at that time, man, I was a little down, obviously, and just going through the things that I was going through, but that lifted me up instantly. You know what I mean? So shout out Chuck for that. You probably don't remember.
The superstar. And not only superstar, we had a person who could sway the officials one way or the other by his aggressiveness, by his physicality, and that was unheard of besides Karl Malone in the Western Conference.
It's a true story.
There was times I just couldn't be bothered.
Right, I trust me.
Now Charles is making me pay for that.
Yeah.
didn't know what to say. I was like, okay.
But he does recall and recount those years that we played together, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
we had a lot of fun, and watching him develop and watching him become a dominant force was a joy.
Soon we heard the big roar. Ha! We said, there goes Charles. So Charles would be walking, and then thousands would be following him everywhere he went. You know, he was the Pied Piper.
I would make the deal. We want to deliver a championship. This is the big time move, bringing Charles Barkley to Phoenix.
I'm not going to sit here and guarantee us a championship, but I think we got a shot at it, and that's all anybody can.
Very successful, winning over 50 games every year, in the playoffs. This close from getting over the hump.
You know, coming out here to the Valley, everybody's like, I can't believe they went and got him. I'm like, you know what? He'll be fine here. The fans will embrace him. It'll be good.
All right, what do you think about this basketball team right now, Simba?
You look at it on paper, it's really good. I think I'm really excited for the chance to play with KJ and Dan Marley.
We had to do something, and to do that, we knew we had to get a superstar. And we had superstars, but we needed somebody to kind of change the game, and Charles was that guy.
When the word came down that a trade was being made with Philadelphia, everybody was ecstatic that it was going to be Charles Barkley, but who were the Suns going to have to give up?
Charles Barkley was listed at 6'6", but plenty of players swore he looked even shorter beside true power forwards. That was the trap. He used leverage, explosive hips, and brutal timing to erase the height gap. The round mound of rebound did not survive against giants. He embarrassed them on both ends nightly. Barkley never played like an undersized forward trying to survive. He attacked every possession as if he wanted to punish someone. Every rebound became a collision. Every box out turned into a wrestling match. Centers hated dealing with him because he never accepted the idea that they owned the paint. He acted like it already belonged to him. Nobody bullied Charles Barkley. Not Bill Laimbeer, not Dennis Rodman, not Charles Oakley, not Karl Malone. Those were some of the toughest men the NBA had ever seen yet. Barkley refused to back away from any of them. If somebody delivered a hard foul, he answered with another. If someone tried intimidation, Barkley welcomed it and pushed the confrontation even further. Then came the moments that shocked entire arenas. Charles Barkley routinely overpowered men with 4 or 5 inches of height on him. Patrick Ewing learned that size alone meant nothing when Barkley established position early. David Robinson discovered that strength could be neutralized by relentless aggression. Even Hakeem Olajuwon had nights where Barkley's physical pressure disrupted rhythm before pure skill could ever take over. Michael Jordan saw it before almost anyone else. During the 1992 Dream Team practices in Monte Carlo, Barkley competed with the same fury that defined him in NBA arenas. Jordan later praised Barkley as one of the fiercest competitors he had ever played with, and that respect showed throughout their battles. Even surrounded by the greatest roster ever assembled, Barkley refused to defer. He attacked every drill, every scrimmage, and every challenge without hesitation. By the 1992-93 season, the league had no choice but to admit what opponents already knew. Barkley was the most destructive force in basketball. He averaged 25.6 points, 12.2 rebounds, and led Phoenix to a franchise record 62 wins in his very first season there. That campaign earned him the NBA Most Valuable Player award over Michael Jordan, proving his relentless style translated into victories as well as fear. The game never ended when Charles Barkley walked off the floor. His mouth stayed just as active as his game. He talked before tip-off during every possession, and long after the final buzzer. Opponents never knew whether the next attack would come with a hard shoulder, a perfectly timed rebound, or a cutting remark. Barkley never hid behind polite answers or careful headlines. He embraced confrontation because he believed intimidation started long before the opening jump ball. What made Barkley truly terrifying was never just the contact. It was what happened inside an opponent's head. He forced players to rush shots they normally made. He baited stars into technical fouls. He turned simple possessions into emotional battles that drained confidence as much as energy. Once Barkley sensed frustration, he attacked even harder. The crowd fed off his intensity, teammates followed his lead, and opponents often found themselves playing Barkley's game instead of their own. By then, the damage had already been done because he had won the mental battle long before the final buzzer sounded. Ask almost any NBA legend from that era about Charles Barkley, and one word comes up again and again: relentless. Magic Johnson loved Barkley's fearless personality so much that he made him a centerpiece of the 1992 Dream Team, knowing his toughness would raise the group's competitive edge. Michael Jordan repeatedly called Barkley one of the toughest competitors he ever faced, even after defeating him in the 1993 NBA Finals. Hakeem Olajuwon understood Barkley would battle for every rebound, regardless of the height difference. Karl Malone spent years trading bruises with him in some of the league's most physical matchups. Even Pat Riley once acknowledged Barkley's ability to completely change the emotional tone of a game. Different rivals remembered different moments, but they all described the same player. Charles Barkley never waited for the game to come to him. He charged directly into it, forcing everyone else to react, and that relentless aggression became his greatest weapon. If there was one night that captured everything Charles Barkley represented, it was Game 7 of the 1993 Western Conference semifinals against the Seattle Supersonics. Seattle entered the series with the NBA's best regular season record and a defense built to overwhelm opponents with size, athleticism, and pressure. Instead, Barkley refused to let Phoenix's season end. Every loose ball became his. Every rebound turned into another opportunity. Every drive into the paint carried the risk of another collision. The Supersonics had defenders who could rotate, trap, and contest nearly every shot, yet none of that slowed Barkley's determination. He attacked before the defense could settle, powered through contact without hesitation, and forced Seattle's front court into constant foul trouble and physical exhaustion. His energy spread across the Suns' entire roster. Teammates played faster because he played harder. The home crowd responded to every rebound, every offensive board, and every fearless drive as if the building itself fed off his aggression. Phoenix survived 123-110, advancing to the Western Conference Finals behind Barkley's relentless leadership. That performance was never just about points or rebounds. It was about imposing his will on the biggest stage. Seattle had the deeper roster on paper, but for one unforgettable night, Barkley made sure everyone remembered that determination could overwhelm talent when backed by absolute fearlessness. Opponents never relaxed against Charles Barkley because his pressure did not come in waves. It stayed there all night. A defender could force him into a difficult shot only to watch him chase the miss, rip away the rebound, and attack again before anyone reset. A big man could block his first drive, but Barkley would come back harder on the next possession, testing the same body, the same balance, and the same nerve. That was the problem. He treated resistance like an invitation. Teams could not simply survive one burst and expect the storm to pass. His motor kept every mistake alive. One lazy box out became 2 points. One slow rotation became a dunk. One emotional reaction became another advantage for Phoenix or Philadelphia. Barkley understood how quickly fear spread through a lineup. Once one defender started backing up, everyone else began protecting the paint earlier, opening space for shooters and cutters. He bent entire defenses without needing to call a play. The game became physical, personal, and exhausting. That is why legends respected him. Barkley did not wait for opponents to break. He kept attacking until they did, and by then, the score often reflected the damage. Charles Barkley never fit the mold of what basketball said a superstar should look like. He was too short for a dominant power forward. He was too outspoken to be everyone's favorite. He played with an edge that often crossed into chaos. Yet those very qualities made him one of the most intimidating players the NBA has ever produced. His legacy was never built on fear created by reputation alone. It was built possession after possession, rebound after rebound, collision after collision. Opponents respected his talent, but they feared something deeper. They feared his refusal to surrender. They knew that even after taking a hard hit, Barkley would sprint back down the floor looking for another fight in the paint. They understood that a 10-point lead meant nothing if he sensed weakness. Momentum changed the moment he decided to attack. Crowds felt it. Teammates fed off it. Entire arenas became louder because Barkley refused to let the intensity disappear. He finished his career without an NBA championship, but that never erased the impact he had on the league. Winning a ring measures greatness in one way. Changing how opponents prepared for you measures it in another. Coaches built game plans specifically to keep Barkley away from the offensive glass. Big men spent nights battling a player they outweighed only to leave exhausted and frustrated. Hall of Famers walked away knowing they had survived a war, rather than simply played another basketball game. That is why Charles Barkley remains unforgettable. Not because he was the tallest, not because he was the fastest, not because he collected the most championships. He is remembered because he challenged every assumption about what dominance looked like. He proved that relentless effort, fearless aggression, and absolute confidence could overwhelm size, reputation, and even history itself. When NBA legends describe the players they never enjoyed facing, Charles Barkley's name continues to appear for one simple reason. He made every game feel like a fight, and very few people ever won that fight comfortably.